Okay, day 2 of December 10. So today, as the heading suggests, it's about mental illness to mindset junkie, which I put my hand up, I hashtag all the time that I'm an NLP junkie now. And so how did this happen? How did I get from one place to the other? So where I started, I guess, is, I was on mental illness type medications for over 20 years. I had been diagnosed with BPD, which is borderline personality disorder, complex PTSD, anxiety, and severe depression with psychotic tendencies. Throughout, some of the worst times of not coping with those mental illnesses, I was hospitalized, very nearly involuntary. Thankfully, I cared enough, I guess, or had enough awareness that I agreed to go voluntarily, however it would have been, involuntary. Admitted into a mental health ward where, that's a pretty tough place to be. I've got to be honest. I have a lot of memories of that time and things that I work through often because of how that affected me. And, I went down the road of a lot of Stilnox, for anyone who remembers that medication. Very, very powerful sleeping medication that, alters the way you think and what you do when you are technically asleep, and ended up, due to a lot of Stilnox in my body, ended up at the hospital having my stomach pumped for an overdose. So, how did I get from that place? And at that time, I've got to tell you, I was raising my 2 daughters. So that came with a lot of guilt afterwards as well. That, my daughters during that time period up and down with me, raising themselves and then having their mum back and then raising themselves again, It was a really tough time for, the 3 of us. And, what I came to learn as I worked my way out of that journey, out of that place, I really started to shift my mindset, firstly by learning about how my mind works. How do I think the way I think? What's the reason that certain things trigger me? Not just a basic surface level reason. I wanted to know how the process worked. How did my body respond? What's the reason it responded in certain ways to certain thoughts? So I wanted to know the mechanics, I guess, of the reason I was like I was. And that's what started me down the journey of so many different things, just looking for the answers. I went down, obviously, very Western medicine routes and got help from psychiatrists, psychologists, counsellors, those types of therapists, and had some really great insights and some really good advice from a lot of really intelligent and helpful people. I also went down a more holistic approach as well, and I looked at things that I was eating and what I was doing with my gut health. I also went in and I became a Reiki master. I looked into colour therapy and became an Aurosoma practitioner. I looked at chakra balancing and massage, and so I was really searching for the blueprint, I guess, of me. And then it was through NLP was like the final piece of the puzzle for me, because listening to the processes of neuro-linguistic programming, listening to the processes of how our mind, body and soul all interact and intertwine, and how we communicate with ourselves and others, it answered so many questions for me. And here's the biggest thing about what I learned from that in regards to my mental illnesses, and where I am today, is that all of them are labels. Labels can be empowering. Labels can be damaging. However, what labels were for me were they were limiting. You think about it. When you put a label on something, so I have severe anxiety. Let's say that's the label. I no longer have severe anxiety, thankfully. However, let's just, for example, I have severe anxiety is the label. And we attach that as part of our identity. I am a person with severe anxiety. I have it. I am it. So it becomes part of who we are. Then because it's part of who we are, it limits what we think we can do or what we're capable of. Someone might suggest, hey, do you want to come out? I'm going to go to a huge Black Friday sale or a Boxing Day sale. There's going to be like tons of people. However, it's going to be fun. We're going to have a great time and get some great bargains. And then your mind will process a certain way based on your identity and the labels you've given yourself. Oh, I've got severe anxiety and that's going to trigger me. So I can't do that. So do you see how we limit ourselves and believe that we can't achieve things? And then we also use those labels with other people. How often have you met someone and within the first 5-10 minutes, they've told you something limiting about themselves? I'm a survivor of XYZ, or I'm a recovering this, or I actually have XYZ. They put that label on themselves and pre-frame it to you, because what we're actually doing when we do that is we are asking that person to lower the bar for us. Please don't expect too much of me. I don't want to disappoint you. So just so you know, I have all these deficits. And straight away, we're disempowering ourselves. That's what I learned about myself, is that these labels that I was accepting as part of my identity, rather than looking for my unique answers to them and overcoming and empowering myself, I was accepting those labels as who I was, and therefore adjusting my environment to suit that, rather than adjusting my capabilities to suit the environment. So I want to leave you with this message that what labels are you putting on yourself? What labels have you accepted from other people? Are they empowering or are they limiting? And what labels do you use on other people? When you assign a label to someone, are you empowering them or are you limiting them? And it all starts with you. That's what it was for me anyway. And I trust you enjoyed day 2 of the December 10. See you later.